sama gas yeeg jalimaadi pour muy leer dama la bëgg moo tax ma jege la
Hi there, good afternoon and welcome to yet another edition of Multisports, your weekend sports show that looks at the main sporting happenings in the country and also outside the country. Well, as you may all know, what is happening in Gambian sports at the moment, what is dominating the headlines, we all know is an open secret, that is the uncertainty that is looming over Gambian football. And today also, a large part of the program will be dedicated to the events that have been happening over the past 1 week or so. And with me in the studio, I have a very good friend and a colleague, Sang Mendy from the City Limits Radio Sports Anchor, producer of the City Limits, what is the name of this? Mega Sports. Mega Sports by City Limits. I believe you listen to his program. Sang, welcome.
Thank you very much, Modu S, and good afternoon, viewers of the Gambia radio and television services. I am pleased to be here to talk about what I love talking about on Mondays and Thursdays on my radio show.
And thank you for being on the show despite a short notice. Like I said in the beginning, we'll be talking about the Gambia football saga, the saga that is looming over Gambian football at the moment. Like I said, it is an open secret that we all know what is happening over the week. During the midweek, the Minister of Youth and Sports presided over the suspension of the Gambia Football Federation as a result of Gambia being banned from all continental competition by CAF due to what CAF described as deliberate cheating. And during the course of that period, a lot of happenings has also taken place. We have seen the stakeholders also come out to denounce and to go against the ministry decision to dissolve the executive committee. Well, Sang, you have been on top of the news. You have been going up and down to make sure that you are at the top of what is happening. Tell us, starting from Wednesday, when the minister suspended the GFF officials, that is the executive, the president, and the 3 other vice presidents, how did you receive the news, and how are you living with the news?
As someone who loves talking about Gambian football, I have been following this since the Gambia was pronounced to have been appealed by Liberia for allegedly fielding players who were not qualified for the championship. Until day before yesterday, I've been following the activities. Though I could not be present when the minister was actually pronouncing his suspension over the 4 key executive members of the Gambia Football Federation. But I was constantly in touch with colleague journalists who were there. You know now how social media is and how we can easily communicate. When I heard the news, I said to myself, wow, after we've been suspended from all CAF competitions, the minister has taken the bull by the horns by acting on the recommendations of the task force set aside by the National Sports Council. Their recommendation was that certain people should go. And 24 hours before the minister takes that decision, an ultimatum has been given to the executive of the Gambia Football Federation to act on the recommendations that were being given by the task force. And according to the minister in his pronouncement, they failed to act on those recommendations. He used 2 constitutions or 2 powerful documents to suspend the executive. One, the National Sports and Councils Act, which he quoted in his suspension notes, and also the Constitution of the Gambia Football Federation itself, that according to the minister, based on those articles in these two important documents, he uses his powers to suspend them. The suspension, as far as we are concerned, is if within 3 months anything possible, any positive news comes out of it, an extraordinary Congress could be held, or they could be reinstated. Within that period, after he's done that, 24 hours later, stakeholders also met and decided that no, it is about time we also speak, because according to them, their rights, as their constitutional rights have been stolen by the minister, because according to them, they have not consulted. They were not consulted to get there. So the way these things are all going on, Modu, I think every concerned Gambian should be very concerned about what is happening. First, we are suspended, and these issues are coming up. Now, what we are all waiting to see is the reaction of FIFA, whether FIFA is going to act to say this is government interference in our sports or not, and if it is government interference, how long are we going to be suspended? So, me as someone who loves talking about Gambian sports, if you listen to my program, 98% of my program is all Gambian sports. So if football is out of it, with football is 60% of Gambian sports. If football is out of it, I am in a big trouble. But hey, wrestling is there, why not? And you know, basketball is there, volleyball is there. We could just have to recommit our efforts to some other sports. But I've been living with it, you know, with a lot of dilemma, you know, sounding the opinions of people, the opinions being varied. Some say the move is good because we have an opportunity to rebuild our sports, and some say no, because we should avoid FIFA banning us, because if FIFA bans us, no subvention will be coming in. We might be giving running cost or administrative cost for the implementation of maybe extraordinary congresses or, you know, some other issues, but the FIFA FAB money might not be coming. And this is what we rely on to survive as a football association and as a nation.
As a nation. And also, aside from the FIFA subvention, we all know that there are some approved projects. We'll talk about that.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that. Suppose the FIFA sanction comes in, we might lose those very, very important projects. But we'll talk about that later in the programs. We will just, for now, go with that press conference that was held at the Independence Stadium, presided over by the Minister of Youth and Sports, Aliu K. Jammeh, announcing the suspension of the president of the Gambia Football Federation, as well as the first, second, and third vice president. Let's go with our technicians with that video, with that press conference.
Brief, but the press briefing and its ramifications will be felt as far away as Zurich and in the more immediate surroundings of the football house in Canifing. Such was the scale of the decision to act that the Minister of Youth and Sports, the Permanent Secretary Nancy Nyang, and key personnel of the ministry's satellite institutions converged for the media briefing. When he began to address members of the media, Minister Aliu K. Jammeh wasted little time in his assessment of the current situation in Gambian football.
Now, all of this embedded within Article 40, which talks about the powers of the president. We had expected him to exercise his powers to protect the image of the Gambia, to protect the image of football in the Gambia, to safeguard the provisions of its own constitution. Again, there we found them at fault. And that's why the National Sports Council has no choice but to invoke all these provisions in the National Sports Council Act to suspend, as I say, and I will repeat, these 4 key officers: the president, the first vice president,